Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Graham Shonfield. I am a student here at Carleton University, and I'm also a presenter at the Yes You Can Student Leadership Conference at Carleton University.
So what are you going to be presenting on today here?
My presentation is called Life on the Reserve, and I'm sort of going to be talking about the importance of volunteering locally and bringing up some Aboriginal issues that maybe non-Aboriginals wouldn't know about if they didn't experience it firsthand.
Now, you didn't get your start volunteering on Canada's reserve system, did you?
No, I first started volunteering when I was 15, when I went to Kenya with Free the Children to build elementary schools in the Masai Mara, and it was incredible. It was a changing moment. It definitely, it led me to do everything else, which was amazing, but I wish I could have gotten my start from volunteering in Canada.
But you came back to Canada and you realized that it was important to volunteer in more or less your own backyard in Ontario.
I did. One of the lessons that I learned over and over again that my facilitators and sort of people guiding us were like, you have to bring what you've learned here back home to Canada. And I thought, I should really take that into heart. And I decided to volunteer on a First Nation reserve, and I went up to Gull Bay, which was 175 kilometers north of Thunder Bay, and I went there for the summer in 2010, and it was the best, probably the best experience I've ever had.
Just tell me a bit about some of the things you did on the reserve.
I was there to volunteer, so first of all, I was just sort of there. I was volunteering at the band office, and I was also volunteering at the school. I sort of did workshops and activities with a bunch of the school kids, and it was great it was definitely more of like a cultural learning. Like, they were learning from me, and I was really learning from them. Like, they took me out fishing, and we went driving to sort of a hill to see the sunset, and we just did a bunch of really fun things that I wouldn't be able to do in this city.
And what did you learn about some of the challenges that First Nations Aboriginal people face on reserves?
It was really shocking to me. It was like going to a third world country, only I hadn't left the province. On the first day, I noticed that I couldn't drink the water that came out of the taps. There was, you had to drink bottled water. There was a big drug problem in Gull Bay. There was, a lot of the community was on welfare, and I noticed that the community was divided. And when I talked to the people, one of the biggest problems that they would mention is that there are family divisions, and sometimes people don't get along because of their last names. And that was really surprising to me, because I thought, in such a small community, wouldn't everyone get along? Because that had been what had happened in the past when I had volunteered. But although there were a lot of issues, I do want to emphasize that it was a great place to live. I had so much fun while I was up there. I got to meet incredible people. They were really funny. If you have a sarcastic sense of humor, all of the Aboriginals that I talked to were very, very funny, and it was nice to not have everyone take everything so seriously. And they were really caring, and they were resilient, and they were really intelligent.
Yeah. So how did you document some of these things that you experienced past summer?
I was so inspired by the plight and struggle that my fellow Canadians had to endure while I lived the high life just because I was born in the right neighborhood, that I wanted to show more non-Aboriginals what life on a reserve was like. So I filmed a documentary with the help of the community, and I sort of, arranged interviews and went to the school and talked to the kids. I definitely made sure that I got the youth perspective on a lot of the issues, and I made a film entitled Life on the Reserve, and I think it's good, so I hope other people think it's good as well. So
you were telling me that you're gonna broadcast, you're gonna show that documentary in March in Ottawa?
I am. I'm showing it March 9th, 2011 at the Mayfair Theatre.
Right on. And then I guess just finally today here, you're going to talk about the importance of volunteering in your backyard. What are you really going to try and convince the 200 delegates here to consider when it comes to volunteering in the places where they're from?
I just want to try to give them a different perspective on volunteering, and I want to try to tell them that you can volunteer locally and you can do something grand in Canada, and that just because we're a first world country doesn't mean that we are we don't have poverty. I mean, we have a lot of people who are living in dire poverty and that probably need our assistance more than people half a world away. I'm not saying that the people half a world away don't need our help, but I just feel that helping our own population and helping our own Canadians is just more important.